trial court affect reforms in the Bureau of Customs?
Pushing
Commissioner Biazon, we'll try to reconnect with you in a short while. It seems like there's a problem with the cell phone signal.
mobile.
Or your mobile. Okay, we'll try to call you back again in a while, sir.
And it's time now to check on the weather in other Asian cities with Pat Fernandez. Hi, Pat.
Hello again, Claire. As Tropical Storm Kedan slightly gains strength as it moves northward towards Japan and across the Philippine Sea, it will not directly affect any part of the country. But let's see how it will be like for our Asian neighbors. In Japan, residents and visitors along the southern islands should closely monitor the development of Kedan with the international name of Fito. It's expected to move closer to Ryukyu Islands, about 300 kilometers southeast of Okinawa by Friday afternoon, but in Tokyo today, it will just be cloudy and dry, just like in Shanghai until tomorrow. Meanwhile, Beijing will enjoy fine weather today, perfect for outdoor trips. In Bangkok, rains and thunderstorms will still persist until tomorrow. Meanwhile, Hong Kong will be partly cloudy, while Taipei will be cloudier today and rainy tomorrow. Moving on to the Middle East, it's a usual worry-free sunny day as we see clear skies in Dubai, Baghdad, and Jerusalem. And that's the latest on our weather this morning. Claire?
Thanks, Pat.
The Liga ng mga Barangay is set to file a petition before the Caloocan City Trial Court in connection with a resolution of the Commission on Elections. The COMELEC filed Resolution 9739 requiring every barangay to set aside 10,000 pesos for the upcoming October 28 barangay elections. The League's President RJ Echeverri says it is not specified in the Omnibus Election Code that a contribution is a requirement. He adds it is better to just postpone the elections if the poll body no longer has the necessary funds. Meanwhile, COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez warns local officials they may face sanctions should they refuse to abide by the poll body's ruling.
For us, the way we interpret the law, it is not mandatory for us to pay. It is mere an advisory for us to just, if you want to pay, you may. If you don't, it's okay.
It clarified that the failure to submit to this resolution, the unjustified refusal to give a contribution is an election offense, which can then be punished appropriately.
The Commission on Elections says candidates in the upcoming barangay polls may be charged with election offenses should they use the name of the Department of Social Welfare and Development in their campaigns. The poll body says those who will be found guilty of threatening beneficiaries of the DSWD's Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program may be imprisoned for 6 months to 6 years. The Department of Interior and Local Government, the DSWD, and the COMELEC has signed a joint memorandum that seeks to strengthen the Bawal ang Epal Dito campaign. The DSWD said it had received at least 100 reports saying some candidates in the previous May polls threatened beneficiaries of being delisted from the program if they do not vote for them. Social Welfare Secretary Dinky Soliman reminds beneficiaries that only the national and regional offices of the DSWD can delist beneficiaries from the program.
Hindi po dapat matakot ang mga benepisyaryo. Mahalaga na tayo po ay magsalita. Maging mapagmatyag.
The family of slain environmentalist and journalist Jerry Ortega will continue its pursuit for justice. This after the Court of Appeals cleared former Palawan Governor Joel Reyes in the killing of Ortega. And Ortega was shot by a gunman at a used clothing thrift store in Palawan on January 24, 2011. The family's legal counsel, attorney Alex Avisado, says the ruling of the court was purely based on technicality. He adds, now it is clear that Ortega was killed because of his expose linking Reyes to the Malampaya fund scam. Meanwhile, Justice Secretary Laila de Lima says they are going to elevate the case to the Supreme Court.
In business, local stocks slightly rose despite the partial shutdown of the U.S. federal government. The main index of the Philippine Stock Exchange gained 6 points to end yesterday's trade at 61.97. National and Economic Development Authority Director General Arsenio Balisacan said that stock markets around the globe are likely to be affected by the U.S. government shutdown, citing that the drop of the PSEI on Monday prior to this announcement. He, however, explained it would still depend on how the shutdown will persist. Balisacan added the announcement may affect the peso and the local bourse, but it will not have an effect on the industries as investments in the country are long-term. Following the announcement of the partial shutdown of the U.S. government, Finance Secretary Cesar Purisima says U.S. leaders must recognize their global responsibility as their failure to reach an agreement on their spending bill will affect the world. Purisima recognizes the partial shutdown of the U.S. government as highly unfortunate as the announcement led countries around the world, including the Philippines, to a, quote, wild economic ride. He says the Philippines is in a strong fiscal position, citing the growth of the domestic surplus economy, allowing the country to persist better than other emerging markets. Although Purisima warns of the debt default by the U.S., which he would lead to, quote, unprecedented chaos in the global economy. And San Miguel President Ramon Ang has announced the transfer of his stake in the conglomerate to Privado Holdings. In a disclosure to the Philippine Stock Exchange, SMC says Privado acquired 368 million common shares of San Miguel from Master Year at 75 pesos each. Ang owns a 62.5% stake in Privado, while another SMC director, Thomas Tan, owns the remaining 37.5%. Master Year held 15.5% of San Miguel's outstanding shares, which Ang acquired from SMC Chairman Eduardo Danding Coangco. Moving on to sports, the Meralco Bolts evened up their best-of-5 semi-final series with the Sanmig Coffee Mixers at 1 game apiece with a 73-79 victory last night. Reynel Hugnatan top-scored the locals with 15 points, followed by Cliff Hodge with 12, but it was Jared Dillinger who provided the spark for the Bolts. He finished with 10 points and 4 assists and 4 of 8 shooting from the field. At 7:15 tonight, the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters will try to do the same as they battle the Petron Blaze Boosters in Game 2 of their own series at the Cuneta Astrodome. And at the other league, it's going to rain greens and yellows later at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Second-seeded De La Salle Green Archers and fourth-seeded UST Growling Tigers will open their best-of-3 finals series in the UAAP Season 76 men's basketball. It will happen at 3:30 this afternoon. And retirement news in tennis, former world number 3 David Nalbandian from Argentina announced that he will quit the sport next month due to shoulder injury. Nalbandian says that it is a tough decision to make, but he acknowledges that his shoulders are not in good condition, which caused him to be sidelined for more than a year, or for most of that year. The 31-year-old former Wimbledon finalist says that he will quit tennis after playing 2 exhibition matches against Spanish world number 2 Rafael Nadal next month. And now we go to entertainment news with Pat Fernandez. Pat.
Video website YouTube will be rolling out the red carpet for its first music awards show. Google's 8-year-old video sharing service has announced that the event, to be held on November 3, will feature live performances by pop artist Lady Gaga, indie rock band Arcade Fire, and rapper Eminem. Filmmaker Spike Jonze has also signed on as the show's creative director, while Rushmore actor Jason Schwartzman will take the stage as the show's host. YouTube will announce a short list of nominees for 6 award categories in mid-October, and winners will be picked by the site's millions of users. The 90-minute live event will take place at Pier 36 in New York. It's always exciting when there are a lot of stars. A promotional poster for the movie biopic Diana has been removed after it sparked public outcry for being placed at the site where the Princess of Wales died in 1997. The French distributor of the indie film, meanwhile, says workmen had taken down the poster placed near the entrance to the Pont de la Mare. Diana, her boyfriend Dodi Fayed, and their driver were killed after their car smashed into a pillar in the Pont de la Mare tunnel while being pursued by photographers. British media criticized the film's promoters for putting up the poster at the site, blasting the move as despicable and heartless. The film, starring Naomi Watts, hits French theaters today. Ooh, I thought it was indie. It's not. Back to you, Claire.
Thanks, Pat.
Let's check the traffic once again in Malibay, Pasay. Chris de Guzman is there. Go ahead, Chris.
Emeline, motorists should prepare a bucket of patience if they're coming from the southern part of Manila, as we're already seeing heavy traffic from Taft Avenue up until here on Malibay. Now, for those on the EDSA southbound lane, the tail end of the bumper-to-bumper ride will begin on Timog and will continue all the way down to Buendia. Now let's go to C5. Expect moderate traffic on Eastwood, and again brace for heavy traffic from Aurora Boulevard to Miriam College. Now same condition on the C5 southbound lane. Expect moderate to heavy traffic from Tandang Sora down to Market. It's also slow moving from LRT to Santolan to SM City Marikina as vehicles approach Katipunan Avenue. Now on to Commonwealth Avenue, we're seeing slow-moving traffic from General Malvar Hospital to Tandang Sora West Side. Again, vehicles will slow down from University Avenue up until Agham Road. Now Quezon Avenue is still looking good, however, vehicles will be slow-moving once again from Dituazon up until Welcome Rotonda as vehicles approach España Boulevard. Now, for those on Rojas Boulevard, expect moderate traffic from Coastal Road to Pablo Ocampo on the northbound lane. And that's your traffic update for today. Always keep cool and drive safely. Ameline, Claire.
Thank you, Chris.
And let's now go to Pat Fernandez at the Solar Weather Center to give us weather in cities across the globe. Hi, Pat.
Hello again, Claire. Let's now take a quick look on how skies will shape up in cities across the globe. Down in the land, bask under the sun, as it will be up today in Sydney as well as here in Rome. Clouds may damp the city of Paris as they may pour in some drizzles today until tomorrow. Moving on in North America, it's partly cloudy today for New Yorkers, and nothing could stop the outdoor activities today for residents of Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Toronto will be cloudy today. Moving on. In Brasilia, they may experience some thunderstorms until tomorrow, but down in Buenos Aires, it will be just drizzly. In Lima, Peru, it will be dry and partly cloudy until tomorrow. That's the latest on the weather this morning. For more news and information, visit www.solarnews.ph. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep it bright here on Solar. Back to you, Claire. Adeline.
Thanks, Pat.
Now, have you been to a restaurant that offers an all-garlic menu? Pat Fernandez will take us to Mad for Garlic at the Fort.
Did you know that garlic can help you lose weight and prevent heart ailments and cancer? It can also address hair loss problems and quicken the healing of infections. For vampires and prized for its medicinal qualities, garlic is now featured in a unique Korean-Italian way, Mad for Garlic. Global restaurant concept CEO Archie Rodriguez brought home Mad for Garlic when he fell in love with the all-garlic concept in Korea. Rodriguez believes it suits the palate of garlic-loving Filipinos. Executive Chef Winky Wong says the restaurant differs in its secret process of removing the garlic's pungent odor while maintaining its flavor.
Because we know how to choose the garlic. We can't choose we have to choose all the actual baby garlic. So, yeah. And then we have a process to take out the spiciness.
Mad for Garlic uses fresh ingredients in making spinach salad with special balsamic vinegar, fried garlic, and crunchy bacon. also boasts of a Dracula killer with crusty yet soft garlic bread, diced bell pepper, anchovy, and